Welcome back to another edition of Rational Wrestling Talk. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark, and today I'm going to be talking about the current LA Knight backstage news that apparently LA Knight is bad at backstage politics. Now, throughout history and throughout, wrestling history, a lot of wrestlers have played backstage politics to, get their careers ahead and, get higher up on the card and whatnot. We've heard a lot of news. We've heard a lot of stories of a lot of guys like Triple H, Randy Orton, John Cena playing politics to, get ahead in their career, right? To receive better booking, right? And then you've heard guys in the past that have completely dismissed backstage politics and have not played those politics to get ahead in their career. They thought it was just a waste of time. They thought it was just a bunch of BS. And yes and no, it's true to a certain extent, but at the same time, a lot of wrestlers, they co-sign playing politics and, they justify it because in the wrestling business, it's cutthroat and everybody's fighting for TV time. Everybody's fighting to get a spot on the card. And I guess in LA Knight's case, in order for him to get ahead or better booking, he would need to play the stupid backstage politics. And I feel like, me personally, it's very stupid. The guy's over. The guy is a top merch seller, along with Cody Rhodes and Stone Cold and whoever. Seth Rollins, I'm assuming. Look, the guy gets a positive reaction every time he comes out. One of the biggest pops of the night. And they've had plenty of opportunities to capitalize on LA Knight's, recent popularity, right? The surge of popularity that he has accumulated. And they didn't take that opportunity. The whole Bray Wyatt feud was a failure. And not because of LA Knight, it was just a bad pairing. Overall, bad creative. And Bray Wyatt for LA Knight was not a decent opponent for him. They had a chance to put him on WrestleMania because they were in LA Knight. You kind of get the gist of that. They promised that they were going to give him his push, right? You would think it would happen after WrestleMania. It doesn't. You would think it would happen after Backlash. It doesn't. You would think it would happen at Money in the Bank, right? He would win the briefcase. But nope. He didn't win the briefcase. Damian Priest won the briefcase. So now we're thinking, okay, if he's not going to at least win the briefcase, then we can at least, at the very most, give him a U.S. title run. Perhaps he's the one that beats Austin Theory for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. That is the most logical decision you can make. Austin Theory is not going anywhere as U.S. champion. He's not doing anything to make that belt mean something. And you would definitely need a popular babyface that could take the title off of Austin Theory. And perfect choice is LA Knight. So they had this. They had two invitational fatal four ways, where the winner of each match will have a one-on-one match, and that one-on-one match will determine who would face Austin Theory at SummerSlam. Well, the second fatal four-way, LA Knight was in that one. So clearly it would make sense for him to win the fatal four-way to go on to face Santos Escobar. Once again, the WWE shows that they are incompetent, and they once again prove how petty they are when it comes to somebody getting over on their own, because they want to be the reason why a talent gets over. And if they didn't create the talent, they're not going to push them. So LA Knight didn't win the Fatal 4-Way. Shocker, right? At least he didn't get pinned. But still, it would have been nice for him to at least win the Fatal 4-Way to face Santos Escobar and beat Santos to face Austin Theory. I mean, you gave him promo time. You know, you had him come out there, and he was the only one out of every competitor in that match that had promo time. So I don't know what they're trying to do with LA Knight. I don't know exactly what direction they're trying to take him in. It's actually very confusing. You're having him lose and lose and lose. You give him a lot of promo time. He's over. Okay, what are we doing? Is there a particular direction that we're going to take here with LA Knight, or are we just going to have him be in qualifying matches and just have him in number one contender matches or battle royals or something? Like, what are we going to do? What are we doing here? And now there's a source that recently detailed LA Knight's current issues in the locker room. Now, at any time, you know, I hear news about, oh, this guy has locker room issues. He's a nuisance in the locker room. There's, he's causing problems. He has an attitude problem. Like that's the notorious one, right? Oh, he has an attitude problem. Okay, here's the thing about that. Most wrestlers are going to have an attitude problem. You would assume, right? People can't just assume. Fans of wrestling cannot assume that wrestlers themselves do not have an attitude problem from time to time. I mean, things get pretty heated in the backstage area. I mean, once again, these are grown men in a competitive environment. It's about competition. Yes, they may work together as a team to put on the best show possible, but you have to know that there will be hotheads in that locker room. There's going to be a lot of tension at times. There's going to be times where, you know, the wrestlers butt heads. A wrestler may not like a script that they're being given from a writer, right? And they may not like it. They may say, I would change certain things about this script. And then the writer could go back and tell the boss, well, LA Knight has an attitude because he didn't want to go with the script that I gave him for his promo. Well, no, he just wanted to change part of the script. He didn't agree with what was written. So he thought, well, maybe I can say this instead of saying that. You know, and sometimes you'll have writers, you'll have like backstage people try to twist stories, and they'll try to spin things, and they'll try to make up stuff just to, you know, make someone out to be the bad guy, right? In this case, I don't think LA Knight is having backstage problems. I mean, it's kind of funny how this news is coming out of left field. It's coming out of nowhere at the time where he's now getting over. He's gaining steam and whatnot. So I just feel like this is just BS. It's fake news. I don't buy it. I think every wrestler from time to time has an attitude problem. And this whole story about him being bad at backstage politics, not everybody's going to play politics. I think playing politics is nowadays, it's outdated. I mean, that's what wrestlers used to do back in the day. I mean, in recent memory, guys like Seth Rollins has played politics. But that's not going to be everybody. Everybody's not going to play politics. I feel like the ones that will play politics are the ones that are handpicked to be the guy. For instance, Roman Reigns has been handpicked for over a decade. In his position, he is allowed to play these backstage politics. He's allowed to politic his way into looking good in certain matches, winning feuds, having creative freedom, essentially, right? The same thing can be said about Seth Rollins or Cody. A lot of the top guys in wrestling history have played politics. And I can't really remember a time, a mid-carder, someone that was not handpicked by the company, that wasn't in high regard by the company, that played politics. I don't think LA Knight is in any position to play politics. And then there's no real reason for him to play a politics. I think it's fair for when a wrestler gets over on their own, they should get better booking. They should definitely get more TV time. To keep one of your most popular stars off of TV, for whatever reason, it's doing dumb business. It's not a good business move to make. Right? It's not good business to just leave someone that is popular off TV. Just because you may not like them, just because he may not be your cup of tea or whatnot. But despite being popular, he hasn't received a push in the WWE. Now I'm hearing that he could be booked for SummerSlam. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a match, a segment. I don't know. I think it's too late to have him in a match because you already have 7-8 matches booked for the show, and you don't want to run the risk of doing 10, 11, 12 matches to overbook SummerSlam. You want to keep it at least 7 to 8 matches traditionally and not go over time, right? Because the matches that you have booked for the show, you want to give each in one of those matches the right amount of time to tell a story and to work their match, right? You want to give those matches a lot of time, right? So I don't think there is room for an LA Knight match, which is a shame. I mean, it would have been pretty easy to just have him win the Invitational Fatal 4-Way and have him face Austin Theory. But a recent report suggested that although Vince McMahon has become fond of the 40-year-old superstar, the latter has gained a reputation of rubbing people the wrong way backstage. And it's dubbed that the former manager of the Maximum Male Models is bad at backstage politics. And see, once again, anytime that there's news about someone having a bad attitude backstage or rubbing people the wrong way, once again, I believe that every wrestler at one point has done that. And, people think wrestlers and these superstars are supposed to be in a good mood every single day. They could be having a bad day. You never know. They could be having a pretty, crappy day, and they're probably not feeling the best. So, of course, there may be times where they may rub people the wrong way. But I just think this news is fake and it's not legit. It's just a way for them not to want to push LA Knight, right? And a source from the creative team recently spoke to Ringside News about Knight's backstage issues, explaining that the SmackDown star doesn't understand the locker room yet. It said that he doesn't understand the WWE locker room yet. He'll get straightened out. That's what a source said. So I don't know what this means for LA Knight, that this may derail his push. This may keep him off television. But last time I checked, Vince is someone that appreciates someone that stands up for themselves, a wrestler that is difficult to deal with. I think Vince likes that type of energy from a wrestler, where they become combative, they're difficult to work with, they have an attitude problem. Why do you think Shawn Michaels was on top for so long in the 90s? And he had a huge attitude problem. He was a menace backstage in those days. He was difficult to deal with, notoriously. But Vince still pushed him as his number one guy. Austin, The Rock definitely had their issues. They had attitude problems, of course. But that didn't stop Vince from pushing those guys to the moon. So I don't really know what's next for LA Knight. This could probably just be a reason for them not to give him his push. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what they try and do at LA Knight. I mean, if Vince is fond of LA Knight, I'm gonna have to see some proof, because so far I haven't seen any proof of Vince McMahon being fond of LA Knight. I mean, it was a couple weeks ago or a month ago I heard that Vince wasn't fond of LA Knight, wasn't keen on pushing him because he's too old. He's 40 years old. So once again, I don't know if this is true or not. And I don't know if this source is legit. But like I said, every wrestler is going to have an attitude problem from time to time. And to say he doesn't understand the locker room is to me poor judgment, because first of all, LA Knight he's not new to a locker room, right? And it's not like he's brand new to the WWE system. He's been in NXT for quite a while before he got to the main roster. You know, he's been in the locker room for over a year now. I mean, there's a bunch of new cats in the locker room today. LA Knight has been around for a while, so I don't see how that would I don't see how that would be possible for him to not understand the locker room. So, I mean, to me, that just sounds stupid to me. It just doesn't make any sense. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure you like the video for the algorithm. This is another edition of Rational Wrestling Talk. This is Irrational Wrestling Mark. Make sure you subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.